So I'm Susan Swallow and I am an additional support for learning teacher at Ellon Academy. Okay, so we're creating lots of different garden spaces so that we can teach horticultural skills, but it's much more than that because we're increasing biodiversity on the site and they're learning more than just gardening, they're learning teamwork, and it's good for their self-esteem, it's good for them to be in touch more with nature and the outdoors. And it's obviously very cross-curricular, so we can do anything mathematical, science, art. We have lots of, it's not just support for learning that use the garden, but other departments come out with groups as well, which is fantastic. We have been making bird boxes, we've put up a lot of bird stations and made a bug hotel and such like, and we have wildlife areas, so we have wildflowers, which just increases that chance of having pollinators around, and that feeds into the whole web of life with all your predators then and the birds and so on. We have lots of raised beds where pupils grow, they sow the seeds, they grow lots of crops, and then later in the year they get to cook and eat those. And what's left we sell to staff to keep the garden sustainable, but we also donate food to the local food bank as well. What we've been doing this morning is taking our canteen food waste and putting it into our hot composter. So that composter is just purely bacterial action. It gets up to temperatures of 60–70 degrees centigrade. And we mix it with sawdust, and in 3 or 4 months we're able to create a cubic metre of lovely rich compost for our crops and for the garden, and we use that then in spring for mulching and feeding the plants. They love being outdoors, it gives them that teamwork and so on, but it gives them that contact with nature, and I think a lot of children, not just additional support for learning children, but a lot of children these days are very disconnected. You know, everybody has their iPads or their PlayStations or whatever, and very few, well, people don't get out quite so much as perhaps previous generations, and this allows them to do that. Sometimes it's just playing or doing a bug hunt, sometimes it's planting and feeling that soil and just listening for the wind, or I don't know, collecting leaves. They just get to feel and sense the seasons and nature, and I think that's so important. I've had pupils in the garden here who are very distressed and they find it calming. I've had guidance teachers bring pupils out who I don't even know, but they're working with them and they know it's a calm space, so they can come and feel that sort of inner peace and in touch with nature a little. We're propagating plants, we're growing new plants so that we get much more variety, which will just increase the biodiversity. We have a memorial garden that we're in the process of building, which is actually primarily to remember lost pupils and staff, but we've got an orchard area in there, a wildlife area, seating, and we're in the process of planting, so that's part of our expansion plan. And also we have a wildlife area, so we're constantly looking after that as well and trying to maintain that so that we don't have just weeds, thistles and nettles and things, but we're sowing this September, we've just sown yellow rattle seeds so that we get less grass dominating, and then we can get more wildflowers coming up in there.